Okay, here we go with subtracting decimals. And again, much like addition, we must align the place values and the decimals. Must. It's not a maybe, it's not an if. It's must, 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 must. Now, I also want you to keep in mind that order is important with subtraction. It is not commutative. Now, this is significant. Now, it's not going to play so much right here because we're only going to be dealing with larger numbers being subtracted by smaller numbers. But in the future, when we get into integer work, order is very important, and you do have negatives that will arise from finding the difference. So keep in mind, order is very important. And also when you set it up, because you do have to make sure that the second number is being uh, taken away, or you take away the second number from the first number. We'll get to that in a minute. So once you align them, you should annex zeros where necessary. Sometimes it's going to be important to regroup from larger place values. We'll see a couple of those. Not with the first one. The first one's going to be relatively easy with no regrouping necessary. So here we have a problem. It's basically very simple problem. Here are 7 and 56 hundredths. The first number, so of course that goes first, 7 and 56 hundredths. And we're going to align with that the 7 ones, 3 ones goes underneath that, the decimal point here, the 4 tenths goes under the 5 tenths, and 2 hundredths goes under the 6 hundredths. I'm going to subtract that. I'm going to get rid of that small. I put too many decimals, I guess. Okay, that looks much, much better. Now, of course, we have to look. 6 hundredths minus 2 hundredths is 4 hundredths. 5 tenths minus 4 tenths is 1 tenth. Don't forget our decimal. It's right there. See how nicely aligned that is. And then 7 ones minus 7 ones minus 3 ones is 4 ones. Now I should, and I don't think I did this in the other one, but I should write the equation. I should finish it off. That's 7 and 56 hundredths minus 3 and 42 hundredths is equal to 4 and 14 hundredths. That should have been done in the addition, but I don't think I did. Okay, that one was relatively easy. No regrouping was necessary. That's because all of the numbers here in the second number were smaller than those of the larger. Okay, here's a little bit tougher. I do have 4 digits in the first number, 17 and 75 hundredths, subtracted by. Now remember, we have to align the place values. So I have 8 ones, 7 ones. My 8 should go underneath my 7. That 7 and the ones, I should say. The 9 tenths goes underneath the 7 tenths. You can see I align the decimal as well. And then 7 hundredths goes underneath the 5 hundredths. Now in this case, let's think about it. You cannot take 7 hundredths away from 5 hundredths. So what we have to do is we have to go and we have to regroup or steal. So I take 1 tenth. So the 7 tenths becomes 6 tenths. And I take that 1 tenth and I make it into 10 hundredths. So I put that one there. So I have 15 hundredths now. Now I am able to take 7 hundredths away from 15 hundredths. 15 hundredths minus 7 hundredths is 8 hundredths. Now I have to look again. Well, I have 6 tenths minus 9 tenths. I'm not able to do that. So I have to go and I have to steal again. So I'm going to take 1 1 and I'm going to make that a 6. I take the 1 1 and I make it 10 tenths. So now I have 16 tenths. I am able to take 9 tenths away from 16 tenths, and I have 7 tenths left. Okay, now look here. I have 6 ones and 8 ones trying to be subtracted. Cannot be done. So I basically am going to take my 110, get rid of it, and make 10 ones. So I have 16 ones, and I'm going to go 16 minus 8, and I have 8 ones. Are you noticing what I did not do? You should have realized that I did not put my decimal, which is a horrible, horrible thing for me to have done. I now have it, and so I have 17 and 75 hundredths minus 8 and 97 hundredths is equal to 8 and 78 hundredths. Okay, the next example. Now this one I gave because it is, again, one of those tricky ones. We saw one of these with the addition. I have 4. 4. But there's no decimal there. I have to realize that it's understood to be there. Now that'll allow me to align this decimal number with that. That's going to be 1 and 473 thousandths. Now as you can see, I have a lot of place values in that first number, in the 4, that I need to annex some zeros. I'm going to actually keep it in black. I'm going to put 1 in the tenths, another 0 in the hundredths, and another 0 in the thousandths. Now you should realize that this does not change the value of the number. It doesn't increase the value. It doesn't change the value at all. 4 is the same as 4 and 0 tenths, which is the same as 4 and 0 hundredths, which is the same as 4 and 0 thousandths. Okay, now I have to realize I cannot take away 3 from 0, and I can't borrow from 0. So I have to go all the way to this 1, the ones place, and I have to take 1, 1 and make it 10 tenths. I'm going to have to take away 1 of those tenths, and I'm going to have to make that into 10 hundredths. And then I'm going to take away 1 of those hundredths, and I'm going to make it 10 thousandths. So that allows me to basically do all the math involved here. 10 thousandths minus 3 thousandths is 7 thousandths. 9 hundredths minus 200, I'm sorry, 9 hundredths minus 7 hundredths is 2 hundredths. 9 tenths minus 4 tenths is 5 tenths. I put my decimal, and I have 3 ones minus 1 1 is 2 ones. Now, if I wanted to check my work, I could go over here to my margin if I wanted to check it, and I could rewrite the difference that I got in my answer, and I could add to it this number, and I could see if I get my first number. I could go ahead and I could check that with myself, 4 and 73 hundredths, and I could see if I get 4. If I get 4, then my answer is right. If I don't, then it's wrong. So 7 thousandths and 3 thousandths is 10. Regroup and carry the 1. 2 hundredths, 7 hundredths, 1 hundredth is 10 hundredths. That's, of course. I'm going to regroup. I have 10 tenths now. Regroup. And I have 4. So I've checked my work. So that's good. Good job. And I'm going to do one more problem. 32 and 7 hundredths minus 8 and 43 hundredths. You notice anything wrong? Well, you should. It's not lined up. I need to make sure they're lined up. So, of course, I did that on purpose, but I want you to make sure that you do notice that you are not right aligning. You are aligning by place value. So I have the ones in one column, the tenths in another, and here. So now I'm going to annex my zeros. I have 1 here, and you know what? If I want to, I could put 1 here too. I don't need it, but I'm going to put it there just for kicks and giggles. Okay, I cannot take 3 away from 0. So I have to steal from the 7. I take a tenth, and I make it into 10 hundredths. So 10 hundredths minus 3 hundredths is 7 hundredths. I am able to take away 4 tenths from 6 tenths. I get 2 tenths. I cannot take away 8 from 2 ones. So I have to take from the 3 tens, make it 2 tens, take that 10 and make it 12 ones. So 12 ones minus 8 ones is 4 ones. And then 2 tens minus 0 tens is 2 tens. And there you got it. So, so we have the right answer there. Okay.